this is a heavily detailed themed maze here. This kind of upped our theming in 2016 and was kind of the start of all of our up-to-date theming with Bayou and everything else. As you can see, there's in this front parlor here, there are the Coven of Witches. Kind of starts out the tone for this maze. All of our witches, of course, have kidnapped children who are coming in to participate in trick-or-treating, and they are being held here against their will. So our Coven of Witches have kidnapped them. We go into this beautiful parlor/library area here, where our witches are. They've got a nice little fireplace set up. They're kind of working on spells and whatnot. In this maze, there's a lot of added elements of taxidermy throughout the maze, and that was something that Steve came across by looking, on Craigslist and stuff. He actually found a taxidermist, and his wife was trying to get rid of all of the taxidermies, so we ended up adding those all later to this maze. And they're all spread throughout this maze in very beautifully designed locations. This next room is our Broom Closet area, and this is kind of a broom prop that kind of goes up and down once the maze is activated. And is a cool scare distraction for our witches in this location. And then next in here is our dining room, and our witches were having like a nice little meal, and they basically kidnapped our trick-or-treaters and held them against their will. And they're here to basically eat with them. And in our next room is going to be our kitchen area, and this is by far my favorite area. We have this old style stove that was installed and hand built in here, as well as, so it's kind of like an old traditional oven, and these wood pieces were added to these walls. There's roughly 250 hand-cut wood pieces that were installed by hand in this room, and really adds a cool element to this maze. The pots and pans above there too also are an animatronic prop that kind of shakes and rattles. And it gives an effect like our witches are in here kind of controlling them from afar. And then we added the element of, we wanted people to come from the inside of a house, like inside the house, to being outdoors. So this is kind of that start of it as well for our inspiration for Bayou as well. We wanted to kind of give the effect of being outside, so this mausoleum style. Lots of overgrown moss and branches and trees, and our trick-or-treaters have become encased in stone by the witch that was in this area and location. Next in here is our parlor, right off of the outside mausoleum area. This beautiful couch was found on Craigslist. It kind of goes in with the theming, as well as like the painting there was found somewhere else, like an estate sale. And then we're kind of walking into the next room, which is going to be our bedroom area and location. And in here, our witches are kind of living their daily lives and also, trapping guests and trick-or-treaters in here. This is a bed animatronic prop that moves, really helps out with our scaring for our witches in this location. And there's a lovely desk over here, because of course, our witches still have to do their daily bills and paperwork and so on and so forth. There's lots of old pictures and mirrors in here. This is a mirror scare that we use with drop boxes on the left, and the distractions of looking at all these old pictures of people who may have lived in the past in this house or have become one with this location. Kind of gives that old theme here. And we walk right into this beautiful potion room, which our witches were using to work on incantations and those kind of things, and it kind of went really awry. There's added details on the walls here, like as if there was an explosion, as well as the roof above, which has this beautiful designed light fixture that spins around and really helps animate this room as far as our witches kind of working on incantations, as well as this potion bowl, which has like kind of a fog effect that comes out and really helps create and elevate the whole potion theme here. And then we leave the potion room and go into our voodoo room, which, as you know, is a big portion of our Bayou-themed maze as well. But this kind of gave us the ability to put voodoo dolls around, and these added effect of these bells, which provide an added scare element for our guests and our witches are able to use, as well as the beadboard on the walls, which our witches can drag along as well to add that added scare effect. And this beautiful kind of satanic goat thing that we added in as well. And then lastly, we end up in the attic, which is kind of a collection of a bunch of things that the witches have collected over the years. There's some old little details from other mazes. These playing blocks, for instance, are from fairy tales, as well as lots of little creepy puppets and dolls and things like that, some of which came from Doll Factory. And the marionettes right here are from the Czech Republic. They may or may not be haunted, but they are pretty detailed. And then we have this beautiful mirror gag that's here that adds an added element and effect with a kind of an older witch holding a baby rocking back and forth. And that concludes Trick or Treat.